Hi, it's Tony Joe from Remax Camosun here in Victoria, British Columbia. This is our weekly sales stats report for Victoria Real Estate. It is Monday, September the 10th. We just finished our first full week in the month of September. And I want to start off by showing you this neat little newspaper clipping that was in the paper last week. This was last Wednesday, and I don't know if you can tell, but that is indeed the Tony Joe and Associates for sale sign there. Unfortunately, the title could have been a little nicer. As you can see there, it says "Sale Slide as Market Cools." And I gotta tell you, this article here caused a lot of phone calls and emails and contact from people that, of course, saw my sign and said, "Hey, congratulations." I don't know if congratulations are in order, frankly, because the story itself was a little bit doom and gloom. And as I mentioned last week, sales numbers were down 15% relative to August of 2011. And for a lot of people, this has been a little spooky. Traffic level still remains a little bit low. We were all hoping that we have a little more activity in the month of September after the long weekend, and we haven't quite seen that yet. So let's just get right to the numbers. We are currently at 97 new sales for the month. September of 2011 ended up with 458. So we already know off the bat that the numbers are intentionally, or they were going to be lower than August anyways. So 458 is where last year ended up, 97 currently. 359 new listings compared to 1,303 for the entire September 2011. And our total currently is 4,690 listings versus 4,940. Something else as well is we ended up August 2012 with just over 5,000 listings, and of course right now I'm reporting to you that there's 4,690. So we lost about 300 listings overnight. Again, this is not out of the ordinary because a lot of properties just have not sold. Sellers have chosen not to go back to market. So what's happening out there? Sales are happening. So even though this story was doom and gloom, the reality is we still saw about 15 sales per day in the capital region. I guess the big question is, if you're a home seller, are you one of those people? And as I've said, week after week after week, positioning is so vitally important, particularly when it comes to pricing, that you got to make sure that your property is priced not only attractively, but almost irresistibly. And even us, I reported the week before, we did 7 sales inside of 10 days, 5 of which were listing sales, but they were all correctly priced properties. And as for buyers, this news here doesn't mean that you can get yourself a nice house for a 10 or 20% discount. It's funny, I bumped into someone the other day who was expecting that right now. The reality is, if the property is priced appropriately, you can expect to pay what the seller is asking, but it's only because it's appropriate. An example is a condominium that we sold. We listed it $10,000 below an inferior unit right below it. Consequently, we sold right away, and we got 100% of asking price, but that's all in positioning. Strangely enough, the unit below it sold a week afterwards, and they ended up taking $15,000 below ours. And when you think about it, that's a little off the mark because traditionally units aren't $15,000 per floor. But anyways, that's a whole other story. So that is a report for this week. What are we looking at for the rest of September? It is feeling right now like it's going to be very similar to August, and it's almost like this pace is something that we have to start getting used to. And again, if you're selling, make sure you price right. And buyers, there are opportunities out there right now, particularly with selection and with properties. Even though they may not be attractively priced right now, there's a good opportunity, or there's a good chance that you can get yourself what seems like a deal, something that you negotiate and end up getting at a fair market value. Anyways, I'm Tony Joe. Look forward to seeing you guys this time next week.